Hey guys, welcome back to WWT. Today we're going to be talking about the San Francisco earthquake of 1906. We have a very, very special guest, Miss Maggie McAllister. She was originally from San Francisco but soon relocated to Hawaii. So, how's the tropical life treating you?
Oh yeah, it's treating me very well. Besides the fact you are on a beach and thinking of things like a Sharknado or something like that.
Yes, that's pretty scary. So I think we all want to know why you're really here.
Yes, of course. Shall we get started?
Yeah, so Maggie, you are the great granddaughter of one of the survivors.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and get into the question. What is it like being somebody related to one of the survivors? Do you pass down any of the information? Do you get some souvenirs, things like that?
Yes, there was an old legend that my grandparents were immortal, couldn't be brought down by any disaster. We have many old sayings about why and how my grandparents were in the middle of the incident. Their house was on the second block, so that would be 47th and Prospect. They were direct.
Yes, that's so interesting. So, have you ever wondered how scary, or do you think, like, oh wow, I'm so lucky that I wasn't there?
Tricky question. Yeah, I know. No, I haven't really thought about it, but I do think like, what would I do if I was there?
Yeah, so what's something you know about the tragedy so we can get the people at home really educated on the topic?
Well, one thing is the it was a tragic. Yes, it was. The people fled like flies. Many died, but survived. San Francisco is always a direct hit because of the Pacific Ocean, but the
Yes.
aftermath was very crucial.
Yeah, so about that Pathetic Ocean. Okay. But
Pathetic.
we yes, we get what you mean. So, how do you feel about how San Francisco is honoring the survivors and their family?
I haven't received nothing. They don't care about us. They promised $30,000 to the family. They said they would pay off my tuition, but I'm still in debt. It's kind of hard to think that this is horrible. This horrible tragedy.
Yes, so basically, they're not doing anything to help you guys. And normally, after these situations and tragedies have been really recognized, the family or family members kind of profit off of something like that. But how was the map that like the aftermath? Like how did that do you know about the aftermath, how they kind of cleaned up, got the, city back to I guess we could say normal, although it was never really normal.
Later on, I would learn about it in school. I was learning about my family at school.
Yeah, so there were many survivors, but this was a really big thing for San Francisco. And we also know about the protocols that were enforced. Like nowadays, we have, our fire protocols, like if there's a fire, we have intruder drills, but they didn't have this back in the day, did they?
No.
So basically, what's one piece of advice that you can give to people who are in need of things to do because some schools don't even have protocols enforced. So what's one thing you can give the viewers if something like this ever happens, like a fire breaks out or earthquake and you're at school?
I mean, if you're like at school and if something falls, I would just try to avoid it, like get out into like a big open space.
Where there's not a lot of objects, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's really interesting. So, final question, Miss Maggie. What is something that viewers can take away from this? Is it that how to protect themselves, like I was just saying? Is it how to be educated on the history and topics like this? Or, stand up for change and protocols and enforce better laws in these situations?
Let me think about that.
Okay.
The viewers need to really take away the history of being educated on this subject.
Yeah, so what's one thing that you have learned from learning this from your own family and at school?
I really learned that it could be very deadly because there was fires bursting everywhere, there was buildings collapsing.
Mhm. So, to all of the family members of the people who sadly did not survive, what's one thing you want to say to them tonight?
Um, I'm sorry for your loss, I really am.
Yeah.
And just know that you can move forward, represent what they were for.
Yeah, so kind of just, you know, when any situation like this happens, I know it can be very hard to move on, but take the learning lesson from this. You can always teach others about this. There's many world tragedies, and it's so unfortunate that this happened to the people in San Francisco. But there's a lot of things to take back from this, and it's so interesting, just to hear the history about this. So thank you so much, Maggie, for coming on here. Thank you